Hello, I'm Bill Rogers with the Rogers Shooting School and holsterops.com. And today we're going to talk about our advanced gun cleaning solutions. It's a water-based cleaning system. We're going to clean a firearm, and we're going to demonstrate how we use our Squeeg-E gun cleaning kit as well as the water-based situation. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this concentrated, it's our gun cleaning rinse agent. It's a concentrate, and we mix it 1 to 5. There's some directions right here in the package that shows how you can mix it using a regular kind of Coke bottle or a water bottle. And the first thing we do, of course, is if you remove the top of the bottle, there's a little ring that's right there. We need to get rid of that, and so you can usually get rid of it with a pair of pliers or a needle nose pliers or a knife, and you just take and get in there and snap it off. And then, now then, we can take our chemical rinse compound and we're going to bring it up to this first level. There's a mark right about here that we demonstrate in there, and that's very close to 1 to 5 on any of the pop bottles. So, and if you don't have a mark or don't have a bottle, again, it's a 1 to 5 solution. So we're going to put in right to that mark, and then we're going to go ahead and add our water. And we can add the water all the way up almost to the very top on this situation to make a 1 to 5. Okay? And now then, we're going to take the little finger operated pump that comes in the kit. Just go ahead and place it on and thread it on down. You need to remove that little ring so that this will go all the way down and seal. It should seal so that you can shake it without losing any of the compound. So once you've got that, then the next thing we're going to do is we need access to water. It could be a sink, it could be a hose, or it could be what I'm going to do now is just pour a little bit of water in this dish, and you're going to add just a little bit of Dawn detergent. And so once you add the Dawn detergent in there, you can just take and stir it around quickly and get it mixed into the water, and that'll be fine. Take the next compound that's going to be very important to us is our bore cleaning compound. I'm going to take the pistol apart real quick. Now, this is a firearm that's been used at our range extensively, and it's pretty crudded up right now. It's had thousands of rounds shot through it. And the reason I'm wearing the gloves is not because the chemicals are caustic, because they're not. They're no more caustic than a dishwashing machine. So, but I'm just trying to keep the crap off my hands. So what we're going to do is the first thing we'll do is we're going to clean the bore of the barrel. So you can take the bore cleaning compound, give it a good shake, make sure the top's on it, and you'll take, I recommend, for this is 9mm, I recommend using an oversized nylon brush. Anytime we're using a jacketed ammunition, a nylon brush works best because this chemical will attack copper extensively, and so it destroys your standard bronze brushes. So just put the brush in it to start with and put a little bit of the compound into the chamber area. Now this brush will clean not only the chamber, but it cleans the bore also, obviously, times and the 6th time. Now what's good about it is this chemical works with time. So now I'm going to let it sit aside for a minute or two. But while I let it sit, there's something else I can do. I can actually take and put this now into the soapy water. We're going to take some of the action cleaning gel. Now this is a clean gel, clear gel. And I'm going to put it on the area around the muzzle and also around the chamber face here. And I'm going to use a brush that we call the tomahawk brush. And the tomahawk brush is a little stainless brush, and it actually does a real good job of trying to break carbon and so forth loose right around where the feed ramp is and the hood of the barrel chamber area. So right now I'm just taking and hitting it with that, and also we have another little brush that's very useful. We call it a flux brush, and I'm just going to put a little extra compound of this clear, and I'm going to work this in all over the barrel itself. And as you can see, if you look at my hands, you can see that there's a lot of nasty stuff coming off the gun right now. So now once I've done that, I can just set it aside, and I'll just set it right here and let the chemical start working. Now the next thing is the slide itself. And again, we don't want you to take this clear gel and start squirting it in holes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just squirt it in a flat area here so that I can get access to it with a brush. And so I'm going to take the brush and I'm just going to start taking and spreading it around over the entire slide area, up in the back, over all of it, even in the firing pin area. I want to work it in. And again, we talked about the bolt face. So where the slide here engages the cartridge, again, I use this little tomahawk brush. I'm going to put a little extra compound on it. It's the same action gel. And I'm going to get right on that face and right behind the extractor. I want to actually really work that really well. And that tends to clean off the carbon or knock off some of the carbon. Now this action gel, it does have the ability to remove a little bit of copper, but its main job is to attack any kind of carbon residue, powder residue, or grease. And it does a super job of breaking that down. Now again, I can just set that down for a bit and let the chemicals work on a little bit, and you can see my hands are really getting kind of filthy. So now we're going to work on the frame, and again I'm going to pick a flat spot in here that doesn't have any parts, and I'm going to use it as a well so I can get some of this compound on it and start putting the compound on the frame. Now what's neat about this product is it doesn't affect plastic at all. It doesn't affect the fiber optic sites, it doesn't affect any of this. In fact, it's so friendly for plastic that it actually adds, when we finish it off with the process, it actually adds some elastomers into the plastic to help it work. We're going to fall back to the barrel, and what I want to do is, we've already pulled through the brush with the material that's going to break loose, our copper and so forth, and then as a final thing we're going to take and use what we call our squeegee. And the squeegee cleans the chamber on the pistol cartridge. It cleans the chamber as well as the bore. So now we're just going to take and pull it through, and as you pull it through you'll notice that there's a real nasty, ugly, almost black situation that's occurred here by pulling the squeegee through. But what it's done is it's almost perfectly cleaned the chamber area and the bore area. And so in inspection I'll look at it and make sure that I can't see any copper or any residue. It's perfectly clean. Now at this point we need to clean our brushes because our brushes are filthy. So that's why we use the soapy water here a little bit. I'm going to clean the brush. I'm going to clean also the squeegee because I'm going to use it here in a minute as a final action. I want it cleaned off. So now I'm just going to take and use the soapy water to do a final cleanup on the barrel. Now the action gel has already attacked all this stuff, and I'm just taking and knocking it off. Now let's just go ahead and work on the frame. So I can just dip the frame in water, or you can stick it under the sink, and with just a little bit of detergent here, the detergent helps to remove the action gel, which has broken down all the carbon. And it doesn't matter, I can get it over in the entire weapon, and we want to take and get it over the entire weapon. And all I'm just using is the little brush, flux brush. Always inspect that your firing pin safety device is working smoothly. You want to make sure that it's clean and operating. So now we can just kind of shake off the excess here, and we'll go to the frame. Same situation, we can just kind of dunk it or rinse it with water, and we're just going to get in here and clean out all the nastiness that's in there. And if you see any excess material buildup, you can go ahead and add, in this case there's a little bit right here in the trigger area. I'm going to add just a little bit of my cleaning gel because it's really concentrated, and I just broke that stuff right out of there. And then just go ahead and finish off with the water. Again, you could just rinse it in hot water. Warm water works really well. Do a final inspection, make sure that there's no dirt or there's no residue, there's nothing left on it. And then we're going to take, and it's a final thing, we're going to use our final rinse. Now you notice it looks like it's milk colored, And this has a corrosion inhibitor and some lubricity, but it's also a little bit of a detergent as a rinse agent, as a final cleaning agent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it just for the spray, and I'm going to put it right here behind the firing pin area, and I'm going to really press it really hard to spray it. And again, if we just take and spray, you only need less than an ounce. All we're going to try to do is get it wet. You want to make sure that everything that got touched with water and our cleaning material is rinsed off with this agent. Now we're going to take the barrel, and I'm going to just take and spray it in through the chamber. I'm going to set it aside. Finally, we're going to take the frame and do the same thing. We want to come in right here. Just high pressure spray it. You can get about 40 pounds of pressure with a high pressure spray, and all I'm trying to do is rinse out anything that was left in the action, and also to make sure that we've got this rinse agent everywhere that we put water, because it will take and neutralize the effect of the water, and as it dries it'll offer lubricity as well as corrosion resistance. So what I do is the final thing on the recoil guide spring here, I typically just rinse it because it's not all that dirty, and this has kind of a rinse agent, so I can just rinse it with a couple of squirts and spray everything with that compound. Then what I'm going to do is I'll draw off the frame. I don't dry off the metal parts because this rinse agent that we're talking about seeps into the pores of the metal and actually helps seal the metal and actually adds some lubricity to it. But I'm just going to wash off the frame a little bit. And then our last product is called our premium lubricant. And the premium lubricant, you need to give it a good shake as well as the bore compound because it has additives into it. It goes hand in hand with the rinse agent. So even if the gun is not totally dry, it will not cause a problem. Now if you can kind of take a look, it's hard to see this right now, but the metal has got a sheen to it, a high sheen. It's not just clean, but it has a nice look that comes from this product seeping into the bores. Now what I typically do as a final action is, after I rinsed it with the rinse agent, is I'm going to take and put 3 or 4 drops of the premium lubricant right inside the chamber area and make sure that it gets into the bore area itself. And then as a final action, I'm just going to take and pull through the squeegee. So this will take and wipe and put a nice coating of the premium lubricant right inside the bore area. And just pull through slowly. Don't pull through quickly or you'll damage the squeegee. So now when we've done this, the bore is finished, the barrel is finished. I can set it down there. Taking a look at the slide is all but dry right now. And this is just a little extra that I'm wiping on here till I want it to dry. But the metal has a sheen to it. It actually kind of glows because of the way this penetrates. You don't have to do anything else to this, but I would take the premium lubricant, and I usually take and put 1 drop, just a small drop, right on the area that I talked about, the firing pin safety area, and work it. I don't try to put the oil inside of the firing pin mechanism or the striker mechanism. I just make sure I get a little oil there. And then what typically you do is I like to take and lubricate what we call the contact points. So the barrel has a contact point here, so I'm just going to put just a small drop of oil, and right up here where there's a witness mark on the barrel where it contacts the slide, I usually just take and put a small drop of oil around that and cycle it a little bit so that it gets a little bit of the premium lubricant on that. As a final situation on the trigger mechanism, even though this offers lubricity, I like to put 1 drop of oil right down into the trigger mechanism there where the sear engagement is from the transfer of the trigger. And sometimes I just put 1 little drop right where the trigger mechanism works. So now we've got this gun totally washed. We're going to put it back together again, put the recoil spring in here. But the firearm is totally cleaned at this point. Any rinse agent that's left on there, let it dry. You can it actually helps go into the pores of the metal, And now we have a totally clean firearm that's ready to go back into use again.